The Fremantle Football Club was conceived, if you like, by the Australian Football League and the West Australian Football Commission. But that was just the start of a long and sometimes painful pregnancy. It was a process that included a search for a true Fremantle identity, a search that turned up some fairly unusual suggestions.
The name, logo and colours.
It will not accept second best.
While purple may be fashionable today,
if we do develop alternative strips, the shorts can be whatever colour we like. We haven't actually discussed with the AFL the options in terms of shorts, but
we felt that in terms of names, logos, uniforms and so forth, we had a very traditional look about us in the AFL. It's very difficult to change traditions, and many of the clubs, particularly in Victoria, really were not prepared to adopt more modern approaches to design and so forth, simply because, traditions are very hard to get. One doesn't easily throw them away. So whilst we are starting from scratch, you might as well try and do something a little bit different.
There was a campaign run by Channel 7 and the West Australian, which attracted, I think, around 5,000 entries, with Vikings and Pirates and Flamingos and Jailers and all sorts of things. And so the public were really interested. And it went on for quite a time, because we were determined to come up with a name that fitted Fremantle and fitted the club.
Although this screen is less vibrant than the bright screen that we had there. But again, it works quite nicely with this very...
Purple is the single most popular colour in US sports marketing at the moment. But the thing that came through most importantly from our point of view was the fact that Fremantle's uniqueness is generated by human traits, the humanity of work and the work ethic of success through toil and those sorts of things.
Crossover sort of effect, but we actually turned it more into a singlet.
What we were looking for was an image which embodied the spirit of Fremantle and the traditional elements of Fremantle, but was used in a way which was contemporary and modern, and moved away from the normal graphic styles of AFL football.
The logo, the powerful logo is terrific. That was immediately from the interim board had wide acceptance. Everyone had plenty of debate on colours and names and everything else, but as soon as that logo was presented, everyone said, terrific, that's great.
On the away field now.
there's still some work to be done on the colours because they're not exactly as we
quite have
specified. We recognise that Fremantle's not going to beat Australia.
Yeah. You allowed us to sit in on the meeting where they presented their final submission to you. There were some fairly startled faces.
I don't know about startled faces. I suppose initially a different approach, definitely. I think it's the first logo that actually has a human being in it. As you know, most of the other logos have animals or birds of some sort, other than maybe Carlton, which is just called the Blues. So in that respect, it was different, but it was clearly appropriate too. I mean, we have human supporters; they're very real people, and why not reflect that in the logo?
It's my great pleasure, on behalf of the board of the Fremantle Football Club, on behalf of the West Australian Football Commission and the Australian Football Commission, to introduce you to the Fremantle Dockers.
How do you think Victorian people perceive Fremantle, the wider Fremantle?
Not with a lot of thought. I mean, I think, and as I said, it's not this superior attitude. I mean, we may be perceived as holding that view, but I don't believe that. I just think that we're so preoccupied with the traditional VFL and the remnants of the domestic competition that we had, that we don't spend a lot of time thinking. We will think a lot more about Fremantle when their football team appears on the ground, and particularly when they start winning games.
When it eventually came out, what was the reaction here to the name, logo, colours, the identity package?
I like it. I mean, I'm conservative by nature, and when I first heard the name and saw the logo, I wanted to sort of digest it for a while, but I think the logo is very strong, and clearly it's got sort of the cultural links to the team it represents. And the colour scheme, I like that too, particularly the away strip. I reckon that looks great. They've done it far better than what Brisbane did in similar circumstances, and I think that's a reflection of the football culture that exists in Perth that wasn't there in Brisbane.